What are we doing the intro, or we just have that saved?
We'll have it saved. It's fine. We can get right into it, right?
This is the intro?
This is the
It's usually how Jordan does it.
yeah.
So to get us started, I do have some rapid fire questions in a very Jordan fashion for introducing people to our podcast so they can get to know you. So first, before we even get into that, can you introduce yourself?
Well, yes. My name is Chavonya. I am the new branch manager at the Middletown location, and I am so excited to be a part of this de novo change within Middletown and just being a part of the community and outreaching and just spreading the knowledge and the wealth of what and all Middletown Del-One has to bring.
We're very excited to dive
I know.
into that. So we'll first start with some rapid fire questions. What's a nickname your parents used to call you?
Nanya.
Nanya?
Nonya.
Is there a meaning behind it?
The younger babies couldn't say Chavonya, so they say Nanya, and I have been Nanya since 83.
Okay.
All right.
First celebrity crush.
New Kids on the Block.
What?
Yes, all of them.
All of that?
I can't visualize.
I was a
how they look.
Backstreet Boys fan.
Were you?
Yeah.
New Kids on the Block, man.
I had the
their
posters.
sheets and the dolls. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yes, I did.
And then our last one. What is the answer to financial freedom?
Growth.
Touch on that.
It would be growth and financial freedom would be constantly educating yourself on what's new and what's to come to stay on top of where you are financially today and always have a plan. To always have a plan is so important. And financial checkups. When's the last time you've seen your financial doctor? Actually coming in and asking questions and just getting someone to give you free knowledge, because that's what we do. We educate. So growth.
And it's funny because like when I thought of that question in my head just now, I had to think of my own answer, just in case it was thrown back to me. And education was what first came to mind.
Absolutely.
I think people might say like money, right? Like if I had the infinite amount of money, that would be an answer. But do you even need that much money as long as you have the education to back up your decisions?
You do not, because if you're not educated on how to save and have your money grow for you, you spend more.
So I think that's a great segue into discussing the initiatives behind introducing a Middletown branch, not just a branch into Middletown, but the concept behind it. Can you touch on or just talk about what sets Middletown apart from just the other Del-One branches before we even get into how it separates from the competition?
Yeah, absolutely. Middletown is different. It's more innovative. It is more geared towards what the future of having your financial needs within a banking or personal environment. I think that with the way Middletown is designed, most people come in and they say, "Oh, it looks like a restaurant." Oh, well, when you come into a restaurant or a cafe, you get kind of personable with your waiter, or waitress, should I say. So I think that, yes, it does remind you of a restaurant. And most of the time you go to a restaurant, you're with your families, so it's more personable. So when they come in and sit with us, we want to have that personal touch, but fulfilling their financial needs professionally.
And that's a great point, like having those conversations with family.
Yes.
I've heard that that's one of the challenges that a lot of youth members have, where speaking about finances at home, it's such a touchy subject.
Absolutely.
And most of the time it might be because we don't want, a family might not want their kids to know that they're struggling financially.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But to talk about that at a young age so that they have a better understanding when it comes time for them to make those types of financial decisions is the best thing that you can do. But it's hard to get there. And if we're inviting families to the Middletown branch, then it sounds like you guys are opening that door so that when they leave, they can start having those conversations with their family.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that sometimes it's even a greater reward when you can start with the youth. So in Middletown, we like to go out twice a week to the local daycares, and we give them their packages. So we have our incentive flyers with us. We have our youth buck slips with us. We talk about how the kids can come in and use the coin machines because they're probably having coins at home or saving in their piggy banks. So we're attaching coloring books, which excites the youth. And we do it twice a week. And when they come in and they want to talk more with their parents, but we engage in that conversation with the youth first.
As far as it sets us apart from the competition, what are some of the features that you can speak to about the Middletown branch that might be unique to that area and to the community that you're serving?
I truly believe it's more so of connecting and trying to be more relative to the youth. So basically, I mean, the youth are the future. So if you can connect with the youth and see what it is that they love or what inspires them or what their desires are, where do they see themselves in the next 10 years or even 5 years, just asking a question. And what I'm noticing, the friendlier that we are in Middletown, the more inviting they are to come in and have the conversation with us. Sometimes they just stop by and say, "Hi, how are you today?"
So we know it's no secret that Middletown does not have a traditional teller line.
Yes.
How has the response been to that? And if we can kind of talk about how to jump over that hurdle for maybe some that might get confused by it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the first interaction we get when they come in the door, their reaction is more, "This is weird. This is different."
Yeah.
And so what I've been doing lately, yeah, it is. Come over. Let's have a seat and talk about it. And I said, "Well, what makes it so? What do you think is different about it?" And they'll say, "There's not a teller line, but we do so much more than just having a teller line. Our member advocates are great at what they do. They're experts on teller and on the banker side. These ITMs are smart machines. They have a teller, and what's great about it is every time you log into the ITM, you get a different teller who's going to learn you, and you get to see so many different faces, and they can really get to know who you are and what you stand for and how you like to do your banking right there at the ITM. And it's just such a way to build a relationship with someone that you don't see on an everyday basis, but they can all do the same thing because they're experts at what they do.
And that's all, they're Del-One employees, right?
Del-One
Like,
employees.
we're not outsourcing
Exactly.
the tellers or anything.
Correct.
We have a special department for this crew that does their job so well.
And I always say, and they're local. They're right in Westover. And they're like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like, "Yes, they're right in Westover. It's really cool, right?" And they love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I love the ITM, especially since it gives out fives. And a lot of ATMs
A
don't
lot
give
of my friends are like, "Oh, why didn't you tell me about the
Right.
fives?" I'm like, I didn't know it was that serious.
It
but-
is.
I
It
believe ours
really.
give out ones too.
Oh,
It-
yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's right.
Middletown
Yeah.
gives out ones. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, we do.
Ooh.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, and it is cool because if you're not really in the mood to talk to someone, you could just put your debit card in.
Right.
But if you are in the mood, you could go ahead and just press the screen, and somebody will come up, and they're all friendly. It's great, actually.
I think it's pretty cool. It's
and you
really,
could
really
put your
neat.
check. I'd had to do it the other day because I deposited a check, which is not very often, and it was so easy. It's just. And I loved it. And they're like, "Oh, and they talk to you. But then you don't have to wait in that long line at the branch.
Correct.
Because sometimes the lines get long if it's like a Friday, or like certain days of the month. Like it can get pretty hectic in there. And you're like, "I just want to deposit this check." And you do get that opportunity to get a face-to-face. So you don't have, if you want something more than just dealing with the machine.
Absolutely.
Which is nice.
Yeah. And then Middletown doesn't have Saturday hours, but we have the ITMs in the vestibule and in the drive up. So
There's
the
a drive
teller-
up?
There is a drive
Oh.
up. Yeah. And there is a secured vestibule ITM as well, where you can, when after hours, you can come in with the debit card. It lets you in, it unlocks the door for you. It's secure, it's safe. It locks the door right behind you while you do your personal transactions. And on Saturdays, they're open from 9 to 1:30 with the ITM. So you don't have to drive far. If you live in Middletown or you're stopping through, you can still have that same traditional experience through the ITM and at the drive up and the vestibule. So it's really, really cool.
That is neat.
Yeah.
So what do you say to somebody that is not interested in opening an account because, let's say, or here, touch on a different example. So I mentioned earlier that I got an invitation to try Apple's new credit card.
Yes.
Real easy. I can do that application on my phone. Why should I go into my local credit union instead?
Because you can have that that invitation from Apple credit card, but you won't get the touch or the experience that you would get with us inviting you into Middletown. We bring a different experience. It's all about us being your number one fan. We are your banker. We are your member advocate, and you won't get that by mailer. You won't get that experience by mailer at all.
I remember opening an account when I was a teenager, and not with Del-One. I didn't know about credit unions then. But how intimidating it was going to a financial institution, and no one really was like wanted to be my family, like how Del-One is when you go in and people want to be your family and want to talk to you. Got to know people and know about their lives and know people by first name, and they knew me. And I'll be at Walmart. I haven't worked in the branch in years, and I'll be at Walmart, and somebody be like, "Hey, yeah, you remember me? I used to come into the Newcastle branch," and I was like, "Oh, I don't even live in Newcastle anymore." Like,
That's
it's
cool.
like, and so I think that's huge for us. When you come in and you see a friendly face and you have somebody there that's cares about you and wants to talk to you and knows about your kids and knows about your new job, and it's pretty awesome.
Because we want to be memorable. You want to remember something special about them so that you can bring it back. And I wasn't just listening to you to get something out of you. I'm listening to you because I care. You know, it's more so I care about how your day is going and what can I do to make it better. You know, so that's most important. You walking into the bank, you're making a deposit. We really care where you're about to go to the next hour. What are you about to do? You know, or, you know, how was your day? Are you on your lunch break? What are you having for lunch? Maybe, you know, we care. So it's important. It's important. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for spending some time with us to talk about the new Middletown branch. Is there anything that you want to add before we cut the conversation? No.
Real short.
Right.
This conversation's over.
Jeez. Yeah, just, you know, I just encourage, you know, those who have not come to Middletown yet, who haven't visited to see what the branch of the future is what I call it. Come in, stop in and see what we're about. We pop in. We got break popcorn.
I saw that.
Yeah,
That's
pop
so
in.
cool.
Yeah, pop in, grab a bag of popcorn. Let's sit down. Let's chat and see where we can take this relationship to the next level.
And where can they find you?
I am at 751 Middletown Wark Road, Middletown, Delaware, 19709.
And that's right by the West Town Movie Theater.
Right in front of the movie theater, next to the GameStop. For all of you who love to play games.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you
Will
have
we
any
see
teams?
a video game tournament inside the Middletown branch someday?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Ooh.
That would be awesome. We have the
Ooh,
parking
what a
lot
great
to
idea.
house it. That would be awesome.
We'll talk about it. Stay tuned.
Yeah. Right. Front and back, actually.
Yes.
Yes, we should definitely talk.
All right. The Charity Bowl.
Yes.
Smash Brothers. Great. Well, thank you,
I'm
Chavonya.
gonna win.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Challenge
Dun,
coming. It's a
dun, right.
challenge.
Great. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for having me. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.